The Dallas Cowboys rolled the New York Jets and sent them on to 0-5. Nice and easy. This is the Cowboys game plan. I'm your host Slater, and right across from me, I got my co-host Mike. And let's just kind of get right into this reaction for the New York Jets versus the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to kind of start with the offense here. We'll start off with some stats here. Dak Prescott, 237 yards, 4 TDs with a QBR of 87.9, and no turnovers, of course. Javonte Williams, 16 carries, 135 yards, 1 TD, and the long of 66 right before half. And then our top receivers, Ryan Flournoy, 114 yards off of 6 receptions, with George Pickens helping him out with 2 receptions, 57 yards, and of course with the long bomb TD. Man, this offense was something special yesterday. Of course, they're just proving it week in and week out that they have the ability to just do whatever they want. So I'll kind of let you have the floor, but I mean, what kind of impact is this offense having on this team so far?
Well, it's the heart of the team right now. Offense is obviously what's winning the football games with it. It's showing that what Brian Schottenheimer set out to do is actually in effect on the team offensively. Everybody is playing to contribute, and they know that if they continue to play well, it's going to earn them something, right? It's not just show up and, if CD has success, we win. If CD doesn't have success, we lose. You know what I mean? It's not that scenario now. It's everybody's coming in because they're being taught culturally on the field and practice and in the locker room that if they give their all every play, wait 15 minutes and something could change. And the next thing you're coming off the bench as a fifth or sixth receiver and you're having a 100-yard game and contributing to a very successful outing for the team. And that's playing a huge role in the offense right now. Everybody is stepping up into a higher elevated position and playing well. They're performing up to, what they need to have success for themselves and the team. And that is amazing to see. We expected that. We're not always used to that as Dallas Cowboys fans, to go into a game where we should be favored and play to the caliber that we're capable of. But it's happening right now, and I would just like to see that be consistent because that's who we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. The consistency is there on our offense right now, and it's definitely special to see. Let me ask you a couple things here.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the stat line for Jalen Tolbert and what he had, how many targets he had yesterday?
Oh man, what I just wasn't very much.
Yeah, he had one target yesterday,
Yeah.
and the I guess I'm asking this because our wide receiver room is going to get very interesting here soon with Mingo
Real
coming
quick.
back, and then of course,
Yeah.
before the season even started, you trade for George Pickens, and now you got Flournoy kind of stepping up to the plate. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm on the roster. I'm going to show you, right? With last week and now even this week. I mean, what do you think's going to happen with Tolbert? Is it really just him and Mingo competing for a spot now? I mean, or do you still think Flournoy needs to kind of put that consistency up? Because that's kind of Tolbert's issue. Is like one game he has a really good one, and in one game it's not. I mean,
No,
how do you
I,
feel?
I 100% agree, but here's the thing, and this is what I was saying just a minute ago, is this is a long season.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. We were wide receiver poor last year, and as fans, we were screaming, "We need weapons. We need receivers." And now we have them in abundance. We've got C.D. Lamb, we've got George Pickens, we've got Turpin, we've got Tolbert, we've got Flournoy, we've got Mingo, we've got Trayshawn Holden waiting in the wings out there somewhere. And we got Paris Campbell's, we got Croppers and Brooks and all this, and it's just like, man, we have young guys who are hungry, who know that they come in, they can have that Flournoy game.
Mm-hmm.
So what it will equal out to in the depth chart, I have no idea, but I just know that it's a long season and everybody's going to have that shot and have that opportunity. And at the end, it's just going to be who does the most with the opportunities that they're given when they're given them, right? And right now, I got to say, it's definitely CD, George, Flournoy, and Turpin are the ones that I'm seeing who are producing the most on the field, right? Tolbert has some plays here and there, and he does what he's supposed to do when he gets the opportunity. But is it because he's earning the opportunity, or is it just because that's designed to be his play? It's hard to know. but he doesn't make a ton of mistakes either. So it's a great question. I guess we'll just have to see how it pans out for each player individually.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you called out people stepping up to the plate. My kind of biggest thing I thought about, and I kind of saved it for you, was does this happen under a Mike McCarthy regime like of last year? Dude, you were down four starters on your offensive line, and your right tackle is not your best lineman. So it's not like you had Tyler Smith or Booker out there, and it's like, oh well, you got one of your better offensive linemen out there. Terrence
Yeah,
Steele is not your best offensive lineman. He's really out of your starting five, probably 5 out of 5. And then you had Jadon Blue who stepped up and kind of took that Miles Sanders role. Then we have Flanoy kind of step in on top of that, and it's just amazing to see. I think on top of culture, but great coaching and the ability to run the ball and how much it sets up for Dak Prescott. There's a lot of ingredients going on in this, and every time the ingredient may be missing, they're finding a way to plug something in to make it keep going, and it's amazing to watch.
it's a massive machine when you can run the ball,
Yes.
right? Because it just opens. And I'm not just saying run the ball for 4 yards. I'm saying like, man, he is putting people down, and he is gashing big runs left and
Mhm.
right, and that just makes us so hard to stop, especially when we have the depth we have at the positions we have them in. Wide receiver, just like we're talking about, we have a lot of depth there. All those guys can get down. It's great. So it's good to see that happening with the coaches telling these guys that just do your best, and your opportunities are going to come. Linemen get hurt, but everybody on the line, whether you're the starter or the person who replaces the starter, are playing at a starting caliber right now. So every time we put a lineman out there, it's been nothing but having faith in their execution, and they've delivered. And there's a couple of spots on this line right now where when the starters start to get healthy, there might be some position battles within the season as this goes on the way it's looking right now. So I'm really interested to see how that folds because Nate Thomas is out there doing his thing, right? And that's been something really not surprising, but very interesting and exciting to watch. It's like, do we even need people to come back before it's really necessary? Can we leave them out a little bit longer? But yeah, great execution from the offense. I'm really excited about what the coaching staff is bringing to the table and how it's being executed out on the field.
Yeah, Tyler or not Tyler, but oh my gosh,
Guyton,
No, Nate Smith or
Nate Thomas,
yeah, Nate Thomas. I'm sorry. Nate
yeah,
Thomas is just so powerful. He's a big body and he's
strong,
so
yeah,
strong. Like last week when they were plugging him in during that Packers game, of course it was with the concussion and then for Steele at some points. He was just like he's a big body and it's hard to get him out the way, and so that's why I'm like these guys who are getting the opportunity, even though like Guy may come back, and I know they'll probably give Guy the chance.
sure,
Steele needs to really kind of keep stepping up to the plate, and he played a really good game yesterday. Looking at some
right.
of the film, I haven't finished it all. He was very powerful in the run game, and it seemed like obviously there was no sacks and all that, so they did their job as an offensive unit. But I mean, overall impressed. I'm super happy to see it. Do you have any last comments before we kind of transition here?
I just want to say that the one thing that I looked at in I haven't finished film study either, but there's an unsung hero to me, and that's Hunter Lupke. I know he got paid this offseason and everything, but he was a big component to some of the running success that we had, especially in blocking. They ran a play that he did a lot in practice, and they finally executed it in a game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pass to the flat where he had a lead blocker. It's kind of like a screen,
Mm-hmm.
and he had some success with it. He caught it off the dirt, basically. And then in the running game, especially on that stretch play that Williams took it to the pylon,
Yeah.
he was a major factor in that. And he did that most of the game. So, when you have someone who's willing to play to the bone like that in front of your already ground and pound running back, it's really hard to stop. But offensively, we did a really good job, and the defense played a little better. I know that's where we're headed now, but I'll make some comments on that as
Yeah,
well.
go ahead.
Um, Looking at the production for the New York Jets, I don't think we stopped them as far as what they do. They actually had quite a bit of success running the ball on us compared to what they've done this season. They have a really good offense as far as their offensive line and their ability to run the ball. And they ran it pretty well on us. I think it was 113 yards Brees Hall had. And he's had anywhere from 70 to 100 on the opponents so far this season. So I can't say that we shut them down. I think that the speed of which we play and the quickness that we scored points and of course the turnovers that we got really contributed us to doing what you and I thought would make a successful game plan before the game, which was to just hit them hard and fast and get on top of them so that they had to play from behind and we could just keep hitting the accelerator, and that's the formula that won the game.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is something that I've been preaching for weeks when it comes to this defense. One, it's all about turning 7 into 3. Obviously, you're not going to make shutouts. You're not just going to stop everything they have. But that first drive where it looked like they were just going to kind of go down there and score, you
Right.
held them to 3. And that just makes a big difference. And then, of course, with such special offense that we have here, when they're driving again and Brees Hall looks like he's going to drive it into the end zone, Leofau steps in and gets a turnover. And what does your offense do with that ball?
Huge.
They go and score. That's what's going to have to happen for this defense. When they capitalize on a third down and get a sack, or when they get a turnover, the offense has to take advantage of it and go put them in the ground, because it was a very close game until that last 3 minutes of that second quarter where they kind of went touchdown and then touchdown, and now you're
Right.
you're walking into half in a hole that you didn't expect to be in. It's kind of like the Packers game, right? We
Yeah.
score, and then all of a sudden James Houston with the strip, and then you capitalize, and that's what's really awesome to see. Even though the defense is not playing to a level that we need it to kind of make a long run or a potential playoff run, the offense is at least capitalizing on everything that they can get out of that defense.
Yeah, they were coming down to tie. They were potentially going to tie the game, and then that punch by Aluafal just changed the momentum completely, and you
Mm-hmm.
get two scores off of that in a quick succession, and it's 30-6 before you know it. And now, they're in desperation mode, and we know they're in desperation mode. So it unlocks a door that we haven't been able to unlock for our defense yet, which is to just break them down. Just go full bore. We can take a little bit of risks. We don't have to worry about containing the edge so much now, because we know they have to drop back at least a little bit, and they have to open up the playbook, and they've got to take some chances with a quarterback who's not always the most accurate, quick in decision making with his balls, right? When he's throwing them, so it's like I think that really changed the momentum of the game, and it worked out in our favor. So for me, Luafau changed the game for us. He was a major piece to our victory.
And he's not, and this is a culture thing. He's not the only one going to punch. I see every defensive line,
Right.
defensive player, even Trayvon, just coming in there and trying to
Yeah.
punch that ball out. And
100%.
that's huge, because at the end of the day, like, you may not really punch it out, but you're at least trying, because at a moment like that where Leofau gets it out, game changer, right? And that's what we look for. And I want to give you a huge shout out, by the way. You called out for James Houston to get more snaps, and you said, get this man on the field, and they gave it to him, and he capitalized on every one of them. He had 1.5 sacks, and it was a beauty to watch. I mean, he had the stunt where he comes all the way around. He's just,
Yeah.
even though, yes, there's, and in Dallas Cowboy politics, there's rankings. If you pay a guy, he
Sure.
deserves to play. I feel like Fowler showed up and all that, but I mean, I love the fact that Shoddy's culture is allowing some guys who are deserving of a couple more snaps or anything
a
like that.
hundred
He's
percent.
giving it to them. He's not just
Right.
preaching it. He's not like, oh, we'll look into it. He's giving
Yeah.
it to you. James Houston, oh, you really have been stepping up big for us. Here's a couple more. Let's see what you can do with it. Oh, you're
Right.
capitalizing? Okay, maybe you do deserve to kind of be that guy who comes in relief. I do love the ability that they still give the trust to Sam Williams and Fowler to kind of keep finding their groove in all this, but I do like that they're giving that opportunity to other guys.
Yeah, it shadows back to what you asked about Mike McCarthy earlier. In the
Mm-hmm.
Mike McCarthy era, Mike McCarthy, old school coach, put my best out there with your best, and let's just see who can do the basics of the job better. And we're not gonna change anything. We're just gonna go the trunk, turn around, I'll throw you the ball, and we'll see if we can just wear them down over time. And it was either have success or not, and that was what determined the outcome of the game. It's not like that anymore. Competing every day mentality where you go out there and you do your best, something's going to come your way. And that's what I'm seeing. And it's very transparent, and you can actually see it taking shape on the field. The guys who earn their opportunities are getting more opportunities. And it's great to see those guys come into the game knowing that, for whatever reason, whether it's Sanborn getting injured or Malik Hooker getting injured, that gets them out there and see them take advantage of those opportunities with, 15 tackles and pass deflections, and it's just greatness is awesome to see because they know that they're solidifying their claim on that spot. So
Yeah. So
big impact.
yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree. I think they're getting a little bit better. But let's do this. Let's do. Give me an overall grade for the offense and defense. Just quick, what comes on top of your head? I know we're still kind of finishing film, and we're gonna do some star ups, star downs, and then we'll get to a new
Yeah,
tradition to start.
I think for the offense, you have to give these guys an A.
Okay.
Just based on the fact that they're coming into this game with a good defensive line as an opponent and a good offensive line as an opponent. It doesn't have an impact on the offense for Dallas, but it will at the end of the statement. It's just they deserve an A. They're down significant starters on their line. They're down their number one receiver, their number three receiver, and our young guys stepped up and played excellent. Couldn't ask for any better. So definitely an A there. For the defense, I think I give them a B plus.
Okay.
Okay, because they improved upon the image of them that we have had the first 4 weeks, right? They made progress. Are they playing at the level they need to play to match what we're going to need for our offense to win down the road and through the end of the season and potentially in the playoffs? Not quite yet, right? We need a little bit more from them, but I think what they did do is build a lot of confidence in themselves to know that they are capable of it. And they see the offense go out there and get motoring and get working down the field like that, and they think, man, we can do some things to help them, right? And the offense keeps them rested and makes the best of their drives, and this becomes very balanced, complementary football. So I would say I give the defense a B and the offense an A.
I agree with the offense with an A because there was some points, and of course, I mean you can't play perfect, but there was some drives where it kind of felt like you could have taken a lot more time off the clock to kind of keep your defense off the field that they didn't really capitalize on. It seemed like
Sure.
Schottenheimer kind of got out of his bag. He was in his bag for 95%, but that
Yeah,
five
yeah, yeah.
percent when you were trying to kill the time, he was kind
Right.
of like off, right? And then we had to go 3 and out and stuff like that. To start the second half is in particular where I'm looking at. So I love that grade. And then for the defense, I'm probably leaning towards a B. I mean, if you're looking at from where we were at against the Bears to now, I mean, if I
Right.
mean, people are going to say, oh, they're still awful, they're still an F, but look at where we're coming from. I'm basing this off of where we were, right? Like against the Packers, I give them a B. This time, I'm gonna still give them a B because they're. I mean, for the Packers, I may give them a C, but for this one, I'm gonna give them a B just because they're actually creating pressure, getting sacks, and actually held them until garbage time at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, let's do a couple star up, star downs. I'm gonna pick some not obvious people, but Jake Ferguson, star up, star down.
All right.
Okay, totally agree. Let's go, Jalen Tolbert.
Start down.
I'm gonna go star down just because of the consistency. It's something I talked about earlier. Shamir James,
Start up.
I like it. 15 total tackles.
Yeah.
Insane
Can't
stat.
complain about that. Yeah.
Wanye Thomas in his first start.
Star up. All the way up.
Love it. And then let's see here. There wasn't much of it, but Javion Clowney,
Star up for sure.
star up. Yep, I like it. All right, man. Do you got any players you want to ask star up, star down for?
No, I mean I think you covered everybody. That's I tell you what, the offensive line that started the game. What do you
Star up.
think of their? Yeah, I think that's definitely a star up for them. I think all of them as a unit played very very well for the team and for Dak, and it was great to see. But
Especially when you have a 100+ yard rusher, and on top of that, your quarterback didn't get sacked once. And I think there may have been
massive,
one pressure.
right?
I think it was very low. All right,
What's
let's
your hang on? What's
go
your
ahead.
opinion on the wide receivers? What do you think about with this? Yeah, yeah. I'll flip that one around on you with the
I,
Flournoy situation. It's hard to ignore that. It really is
yeah,
hard to ignore that. Ignore
it's
that.
it's so hard because it's such a talented wide receiver room. I'm telling you, taking George Pickens for a fourth round pick is a steal, and for all I don't even know how. As a as seeing him as a Cowboy, I'm wondering how we got to this point where the Steelers like we're fed up with him, we're done with him.
Yeah,
Maybe he was fed up with y'all not having a quarterback because having a
right.
quarterback with George Pickens looks like a freaking all pro. I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
lie. So
five
thank you.
games into the season, and he's already matched the touchdowns he had in seasons over there. So it's
I
great.
was
I'm sure
I
he's
got
happy and he's loving it.
I got some buddies that root for Pittsburgh and Denver, and I've already texted them this past week. Thank you for George Pickens. Thank you for Javante Williams.
Yeah,
They're saving
absolutely.
my life right now. But
Yep, it's great.
back to your question. Obviously, CD Pickens, Turpin. I'm not Turpin. I mean, just in the not in any particular order, but I mean, Flournoy has really earned my respect. That Green Bay game, I saw a little bit of it. Of course, we saw it in person. I was like, wow, he's actually stepping up to the plate here. And then
Right.
this past game, it's like, man, I really need to watch a film study on him and kind of figure out what got his routes open, whether it was good route running or if it was just good play design.
I think
But
he's a very complete receiver
yeah,
and a football player on top of it, so that's always a great combination to have.
I just for me when it comes, I mean, Mingo and Tolbert are what's in the or they're in the battle for me. And the only reason I say that is because like Tolbert's just inconsistent. Some games it's peak, some games it's downhill. So I'd be
Right.
curious to see what Mingo has. I'm not saying he's earned it yet because we still haven't seen what Mingo can provide to this offense. Even last
100%.
year, we still didn't see it because he was really just playing with Cooper Rush and he was still kind of, getting into routine.
No, totally. Yeah, you bring up a good question. We need to look at the film and see is is it just Tolbert not getting the opportunities or the looks, or is it because of the way he's running his routes or the
Exactly.
coverage? Is he not beating the coverage enough to be available to be open and be a target, right? So that's something we can definitely look at. That's remind me, and we'll do that during the bye week. We can do specific player studies on the team
Yeah.
and highlight a player and review that and kind of see what we can learn while we don't
Yeah.
have a game.
Because there
So
was a lot of, I heard this, I want to say earlier on, 1053 The Fan, the radio and all that. They were talking about how, when George Pickens got traded to the Cowboys, Tolbert said that there was a fire lit inside me. Well, it's like, if if they believed in you, Tolbert, they wouldn't have traded for George Pickens. There was a reason why they went to go get George Pickens. Obviously, probably because the price was there, but two, they truly felt that they needed a number two, and you weren't it.
bona fide, right?
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like if Tolbert was that guy, we wouldn't have Pickens right now because he would be stepping up to the plate. That's kind of
Yeah,
where I'm
right
at.
now I feel like we have a solidified number one, a solidified number two, and we've got two number threes and two number fours without even trying.
Yeah,
And what order those guys would fall in, it's hard to say. It just depends on what you're trying to do with them against the team. You're scheming and game planning for. So it's gonna be fun. It's
yeah.
it's never a problem to have too many weapons, right? So
Never, never, ever. All right, let's do this so we can don't run out of time here. But
all
we're
right,
gonna we're gonna start a new tradition for our fans, and I'm gonna get the soundbite for it. If anyone remembers during the schedule release, it's Brian Schottenheimer on the cart with CD and the boys, and we're gonna do kind of a shoddy player of the game. As you can see, Mike's got his glass there. It's basically a little liquor shot with a lemon. We're gonna call it a shoddy. I'll get the sound clip for y'all. Maybe I can throw the little video up there for y'all next time. I didn't get it to it, unfortunately. But Mike, who is your shoddy player of the game?
that would be Maurice Luafau.
Maurice Lufau. I love it. Any particular reason why outside the fumble?
Well, I mean, I really think that was a pivotal moment in the game because that's what gave us the big momentum swing and allowed our defense to get some opportunities that they haven't had in the past game because it's been, match for match, score for score, point for point. So it really opened up a lot for our team to get a chance to see some growth on the defensive line and in the secondary. So I'll take my shot to
While
Mr.
you take your
Leofound
shot,
out.
I will introduce my shoddy player of the game, and my shoddy player of the game is probably going to be Dak Prescott. I mean, just the way he's able to execute and understand the adjustments, the audibles, the command the line. Even though you're down four offensive linemen, he's been nothing but a front runner MVP. Some people can argue Baker, and the Eagles fans will always argue Jalen Hurts, and I don't know. But Dak Prescott has commanded every game we've been in so far, so that's gonna be
Sure.
my player of the game. Now,
Well deserved. Hopefully we'll be doing an MVP shot for Dak at the end of the season. So
if it's an MVP shot, I'm gonna do a whole glass.
there we go.
So, nah, I'll get that soundbite for y'all. So if y'all hadn't heard it yet, it'd be cool to hear. It's kind of funny. But outside of that, man, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but we've been so happy with the amount of subscribers we're getting. It's been awesome to see a fan base kind of start following us. And I know I gotta get with Mike on this. I haven't mentioned it yet, but we kind of need to come up with a fan base name. I don't know what we can call our fan base, or it'd be cool to come up with something, but we'll think about it in the next couple of weeks. If you
Yeah, or let
haven't
them
yet,
come up with it.
yeah, maybe if you got leave a comment, it'd be cool to see what y'all can come up with. But if y'all haven't yet, leave a comment, like, subscribe, man. We would love to hear from y'all. Let us know who your shoddy player of the game is. Maybe we can get some videos of y'all doing it. No, I'm just kidding. But outside of that, man, this is the Cowboys game plan. Y'all have a good one.
See you later.